Hello friends, I am Sachin and today we are going to see how to create ASP.NET MVC application. So start Visual Studio. If you don't know how to install Visual Studio, then watch my previous video. Go to File, New, Project, and we are using C# language, and in the Web tab select ASP.NET Web Application. So name it first MVC application and click OK. Okay, so there are web form, MVC web API application. So select empty MVC, click on the MVC checkbox, okay, and click OK. So it will create a empty template for MVC application. And MVC stand for model, views and controller. So see the model, views and controllers. So we are going to see how to add controllers, model, views, and how to transfer data from controller to views. Okay, so just right click on controller and add a controller. Okay, before that just run it directly. So we have just created a MVC empty application and we are running it. Okay, so it's give error, the resource cannot be found and requested URL is just blank. Okay, so go to the app start and route config file. See here, URL is controller name, then action method name, then ID. ID is optional by default. Parameters are set to controller is set to home and action method is set to index. So as we can see in the controller folder there is no any controller added right now. Okay, so by default it's looking for action method within the home controller. So that's why, and it's not found, therefore it's giving resource cannot be found error. Okay, so let's right click on the controller and add a controller, empty controller, home. Okay, and name of the controller is always ends with controller name. So here we have added controller, home controller, and see the method name is index and which is returning a view. Okay, so let's run it. We haven't added view yet. Okay, so just is a folder name with same name as a controller name. Okay, just run it. And it's giving error that view not found, view index view not found. Okay, and by default it's searching for in the views folder of the home name and shared name, right? So in the both folder index view is not found. For Visual Basic extension is VBHTML and for C# extension is CSHTML. Okay, so let's go and add a view. Right click just inside the action method and add view. Name of the view is same as the action method. Okay, and click add. It will add view in the home folder. Okay, so now see index is added here. So just print it like welcome to MVC demo, and add some color red. Okay, so we have controller, home controller, and inside it we have a action method, index action method. Okay, and by default we know the path. Controller name is home, action method name is index. Okay, and how to call the URL, controller name, then action method. Okay, so let's run it. So now it prints welcome to MVC demo. And how to call it, home and index. So still it is giving the proper message. Okay, because by default it is these values are set in the route config file. Okay, so let's add one more method here, and without returning view, just return a string. Public it will return a string, and name of the method is message, and next return a string word. Okay, just run it. Oh, I have returned. Just run it. So how to call that method, controller name is home, and name of the method is message. So it's printing hello world, right? So see, name of URL is name of the controller and then action method name. Okay, action method name in the within that controller, right? Now I want to return multiple strings, suppose list of string. Okay, so just okay, so let's just copy this method and list return type will be list of strings. Okay, and suppose it will return names. Okay, just write names. Create one list of string names equal to John and Peter. Okay, and let's return this list names. Okay, so we have added one method which returns a list of strings. Okay, run it. And call the method home controller name of the controller home, and name of the method is names. So instead of printing the list of strings, it printing type of the list, that is system.collection.generic.list. Okay, so how to pass these values from controller to view? Okay, so let's add one more controller here. Let's name it as a employee employee names. Okay, employee names, and just name it employees. Okay, and there are two ways to transfer data from controller to view. One is ViewBag and one is ViewData. Okay, there are other ways, but these two are dynamic object which we can use to transfer data from controller to its view. Okay, so let's create one ViewBag here. ViewBag dot we can use any anonymous name, so just say male employees. Okay, and equal to list of strings new list of strings, suppose John and data. Okay, and add a view for this index for employee controller. Okay, and now we want to print these male employee names. Yeah, so just create a div tag, and within div tag create a span and text style, and within the span style and color equal to suppose red. Okay, and within the span we can access this ViewBag dot male employees names. What is the name of the male employees? Okay, ViewBag dot male employees, and suppose first one, then line 100, and print second one. Okay, so we have created one action method index, and within that we have set this dynamic male employees ViewBag object, and we have set two values, and we are returning view, and in this view we are printing these values. Okay, so let's run this. It will give error. Okay, so for employee controller and index action, it's printing ViewBag dot employees. Okay, so instead of values it has printed the code, right, the property. So print values, we use add symbol, so just add symbol. Okay, so now it will print values. Okay, male employees. Okay, but if you misspell it, okay, right, male employees 2 suppose, and compile it, it's not giving any compile time error to us. Okay, succeeded, but it will give runtime error. See, it's mismatch, right, the binding on a null reference, right? So it's not a strongly type, and it don't give compile time error, so that's why it's recommended to use strongly type binding. same way we can implement that ViewData object, dynamic object also. So see ViewData and key, suppose female employees, okay, equal to list of strings new list of string female employees, suppose Kim and Jane. Okay, now how to use this view data on the view? Okay, so let's print it using for each loop. Okay, so use add symbol for each string name with employee and print name. Okay, add a line break. So it's giving error, right? Because we need to typecast it into the list of strings. Okay, so and here add a with add symbol here and add a page break. Okay, and use span here and color blue. So now it will print female employee's name in blue color. So name of the controller is the employee. Okay, and yes, John. It's printed just message here, female employees. Okay, and here also if you misspell it, it's not giving any compile time error, but it will give runtime error. So by default it's called home controller. So let's call employee and within employee name of the action, name of the index, right? Why this is name of the controller is employees, so it must match with the name of the controller. Okay, so it is giving error that it's mismatch, right? Property mismatch. So if error occurred in the compile time, then it's always good, right? You will fix it while coding. But if error occurred at the runtime, and if see your code is on production, then this error occurred, so it's difficult, right? So always use strongly type data types and strongly type binding, so you will get compile time error, right? So we have seen how to add controller, how to add views. Okay, now we will see how to add model. Okay, so let's right click on the model and add a new model. Model is nothing but a class, so add new class, name it as a person. Okay, so we have created one class here in the model folder and create some properties. Suppose string first name, create two more properties, first name then last name, and create one integer age. Okay, and go to the controller, add one more controller empty and name it as a person. Okay, the name of the controller always ends with controller. Okay, so name of the controller is person's controller. Okay, click on add, so it's added. Now I want to access this model, person model, to our view, our controller. Okay, so this person model is present in the first MVC application dot models name page. So just refer it here using. Okay, we can use this person class here. So create one object person, suppose object equal to new persons, set first name equal to John, first name equal to Smith, and age equal to suppose 25. Okay, now I want to print these values. I want to return this data to the browser. So how to do that? Right click in the method add view. Okay, and use template like details. Okay, and model class to person. Okay, so it will automatically create view with code to print this data, right? It is already added this code to print this first name, last name, and age. Okay, so let's go and run it. So it's a person controller and index method in the person controller, right? But data is blank. Why? Because we have created a view, but we haven't passed any data to view. Okay, so add this object, pass this object to the view. Now it will print John Smith and 25, right? Name of the controller is, by default it's calling home controller, right? Name of the controller is persons, and name of the method is index. Okay, so it's printing the data correctly, right? So this way we can create controller, we can add controller, then we can add views for the action methods, and we can create a model, and we can bind this model data to the action method. Okay, and if you go to this person index view, you can see here first line it has added a model, first MVC model dot person, and using this model object, it is printing all this data here, right? So thanks for watching. We will see entity framework in the next session, so please subscribe the channel, and if you have any question, then write in the comment box. Thank you.